All right, guys, welcome back to the MVM Show. Glad you're here and listening and tuning in today. Me and Travis are here going to continue on with the tips for mentors when it refers to duck hunting. We had a little gap there in between when we talked about this last, but anyways, other things were going on and coming up, and man, we did pretty good with keeping the podcast going, but man, right at the end, it just gets tough. It's really more
so much going on.
It is. And it's just, I'm editing. I'm trying to make sure to get the content out and stuff like that. So anyways, I'm just making excuses, guys. Sorry. But we're back on it. We're, like I said, for sure, we're getting one out every Monday. And they come out and they roll out about 3 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So the reason I did that is so the guys on the East Coast, when they're going to work, they'll have one at least going on. And then the other guys can, when they wake up, they can listen to it too. So no, I am not getting up at 3 a.m. and posting this. I keep seeing that people saying, man, you're up early posting these. I'm like, nope, it's all preset. So anyways, big shout out to Canuba for all their support. And we truly, truly believe in that. And if you haven't heard that episode of talking about how much, or am I feeding my gun dog too much or not enough? That's episode 110, I think. Also, big shout out to Heavy Shot. It's our favorite ammo. You guys hear us say it over and over again. And we'll continue to, whether we work with them or not, because we were already using them and liking them beforehand. So let's talk about tips for mentors. And like I said, this kind of refers to new hunters too. We kind of been pulling around to that. But we're going to start off with, and I'll read it like we do in the past. Number 18, take photos. Record the moment. As soon as you get in the field, take a photo of you and your mentee or mentees. It demonstrates you're happy to be there and builds anticipation. It'll be a great shot to look back on and can also be used on social media to encourage others to try hunting. Young hunters like to post as the hunt happens. So, yeah, I mean, Travis has always kind of been good at getting shots in the field from the very get-go, because that's probably the funnest place to look at pictures is when you're actually out in the duck pond, you know?
Yeah, I always like the in-the-field shots. When I first started hunting, looking back now, I wish I would have had a camera. Mm-hmm. But there was no digital cameras back then, you know what I'm saying? It was old, 8 millimeter?
You can use what was the wind-up ones you buy at the store
the
for $10?
Ones. But those, I do have some of those, like, pretty old.
Yeah.
But the quality is pathetic,
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying, compared to what a cell phone can do now. But I do wish I would have had that. I do have some decent photos, but they were all in my parents' front yard with ducks laid out with and every once in a while I'll stumble across one of those and look, I'm like, man, I look young, I was skinny, my hair was dark, but yeah, I wish I would have had more of those. But fortunately when Talon started hunting, and Colton, my nephew, I took quite a few pictures, and I have a lot of those. They're not in digital form, mm-hmm. but I still have them in albums and stuff like that. And it's really cool to look back on that and just see them grow up and me age.
You can never go wrong with taking pictures and video.
No, I mean,
a lot of times it can be a hassle, dude. Even taking a picture in the field sometimes. Back when you would have to use those kind of cameras.
I think the thing is too, though, because you know what I'm saying, you're in the moment, and it's hard to just stop and like, okay, let me pose for this picture, or whatever.
Because
move the bird this way where you show off the colors just right or whatever.
Right.
But it is cool because especially if it's something that people fall in love with and they like, you know what I'm saying, it'd be cool to have the picture of my first bird that I shot. You know what I'm saying, or even my first one of whatever species.
You'd pay money for that now.
It'd be cool to have. Yeah.
And I think that's kind of why they're saying take it as soon as you get into the field, because once you get in the middle of the hunt, it's time to hunt. And it's like it's hard to focus. It's hard enough to film or video or take pictures in the moment, but that's why everybody does it later. It's like, let's just do it back at home, like you said. But something about having it when you're out in the spot is just way better.
And then with what you do with your YouTube channel, just mess around, on the veteran hunt that we went on. You can have that stuff filming. That's for the birds, man. Who's got time to? Who's
Travis
got time
half the time
do
was
that, man?
Dude,
I can't even see. I mean, I'm half blind up close, so I can't even see what I'm trying to take a video of. Let alone trying to call, trying to
this
see
is
the
what
birds
I'm trying to say,
in.
though, dude. This is what I'm trying to tell you guys.
Junky videos where people on a on a
Travis, when you were videoing,
roller coaster.
all I seen is zoomed in on Toolies. That's all. Literally, like it was at the ground, and then another one was at the water, and then another one looked like it was your armpit.
Probably. You're trying to hide.
Trust me, when Thomas
video, forget that mess.
When Thomas and Barney left, I pretty much knew. Well,
it's over.
That's that's it.
It's over.
I did. I was
after
like,
about 5 minutes of doing it, I'm like, this is probably just a waste of time, man.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
I figured one single clip.
I figured as much.
I knew. I was like, oh well. I almost thought like, why even have him do that? Because I knew good and well you're never gonna worry about if the bird's in the frame. You're gonna be looking not even at the camera, looking at the bird, and I get that. Yeah. Trust me when I say it. And that's what I try to explain to people. They're like, oh, you must really like that. You must actually no. I love it later.
Yeah.
But I hate it in the moment.
It'd be horrible.
You got to get your brain.
It's like pulling teeth.
That's why I've talked to other people. They're like, how do you do that? I'm like, you literally have to get your brain in. This is my job right now. I don't have nothing else. I don't need to worry about calling. I don't need to be worrying about shooting or just video. Like today, we try to go out there and do what we did today. They couldn't. They literally could not focus when it came to them being the camera.
I don't see how you can.
It's tough. Yeah. So, anyways,
you could have that.
So just worst case scenario, grab your phone, grab your camera, grab your throwaway, and just take a couple pictures, and you'll have it.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong there. So, the next one is, it says be weather wise, and they're talking about basically, you and I may get super excited about bad weather, and this is gonna be good. It's gonna be which. Let's not jump ahead of ourselves, but we can say what we feel about certain types of weather. But they're saying that basically it's not the greatest time to take a new person out in that gnarly weather. I mean, to me, you don't take new hunters early season.
It's hot,
or it's just slow.
Yeah.
Or you don't take new hunters, especially more than likely they don't have the greatest of gear, if any, hardly. You don't want to take them in nasty weather, raining, dumping, freezing cold, whatever it may be. So now, when we're referring to new hunters in that scenario, I feel like I'm more referring to like younger people, because if I'm taking my buddy that's 35, 40 years old, I don't feel too bad for him because he can be smart enough to know, hey, let's prepare. Even though I'm going to say, hey, man, I don't know if you looked at the weather, but it's going to be pretty cold today. I have an extra jacket if you don't have the right gear,
Yeah.
Obviously, we're going to do that, but I'm not trying to make anybody suffer. But
yeah, I would say definitely early season, most of us have old jackets or whatever, but it's too hot to wear a jacket.
Yeah. Opening day is a good day to take a new person too.
Yeah, you can get some action.
You get some action. And then, but on the same time, we've talked about this, like, where's the line where you're like, I don't want to create false reality for you that this is not how it's going to be when you come out here for the rest of the year.
No, I mean, a season can be a grind. We all know that.
Yeah.
It's got its highs, its lows, and us with, I guess you would say with more experience, just know how to, you just go through it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We enjoy being out there. And, it's not going to be always, lights out or, much action, but you live for those special days when it is good, But
yeah, you're living off those.
Yeah, but for somebody new, I mean, I think you want to try to introduce them and let them have a good time. You know what I'm saying? To spark their interest and like, hey, this is what it can be like. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's always a bad thing to take them when it's really good. Like you said, the expectations may be false because it's not going to be like that every time.
Well, I definitely don't want to take him on a bad day. I would try my best to take him on new. In fact, when we take new hunters, we're like, just wait till later season. If it's a young person and they're not real gung-ho, but they want to go, let's just wait till junior hunt and we'll go. If they want to go before that, I mean, more power, we'll take them. But, if I don't know, it just, you really don't know until you get people out there, because some people I thought that would like it didn't really care for it, and then some people I didn't think would care for it really like it. So you really don't know.
You don't.
Everybody's different. But just do the best you can to try to get birds there.
Yeah.
It is hunting, so.
Yeah, but I mean, like you said, weather's can play a big factor. I mean, if it's pouring down rain, probably wouldn't be the best time to take somebody for the first time. Or
I'm not even too pumped when it's like
super
that.
Foggy when you're not going to really see anything.
Yeah.
There's
last minute crack shots.
Yeah,
because that's the thing with the newcomer is the reaction time is so much slower.
Man, they don't even really know what a duck is sometimes.
Yeah. All right. The next one is dog decision. It says connecting with dogs can be a big attraction for new hunters. However, a dog can distract from your focus on the mentee. Bring only an experienced, impeccably trained retriever on a first hunt. If you're hunting with a group, it's great. It's a great idea for another hunter to run the dog so you can focus on the newcomer. Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Yeah, especially I think sometimes it depends on your dog too. I mean, like your dog Rocky, he's really well mannered. He doesn't break, you know what I'm saying, when you shoot, and he doesn't go till you tell him to. But I've seen dogs that break a lot, and then you get some young kid that's really gun ho, you know what I'm saying? They drop a bird in the water and they're, it's
wounded.
Yeah, and your dog takes off and then they're raising up their gun and you may be looking for a new dog if you're not super careful.
And you know what? Not even just you losing your dog, because that'd be horrible.
Yeah.
But what do you think it's gonna?
Well.
I'm gonna say, what do you think that young buck, young girl or guy is gonna do? It'll traumatize. They'll probably never go to the duck pond again ever.
Yeah,
it'd be messed up, dude, all the way around.
Yep.
So I would, you like you said, you got a really experienced dog, but even then, I don't know if I'd want to do that, because if you had an experienced dog, you'd be fine.
Yeah, I mean, if it didn't
like
go,
you said, if it's wounded and
because you could tell them, hey, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna send the dog out. Don't shoot, whatever. Let him get it. It's wounded. He'll get it. Don't worry about shooting it again.
I totally get what they're saying though, because it is easy to get distracted by a dog.
Oh yeah.
And me like, hey Rocky, and I'm trying to give him hand signals, and I don't realize the kid over here pulling up again.
Exactly.
I don't even know.
That's what I was gonna say.
So it's kind of
your dog could be going out, and some more birds come in, and then in the moment, I'm saying, they're swinging, and maybe they're not super conscious of where you're at, where the dog's at.
That's why you almost need that.
They're so focused on the bird.
You almost need that third guy to keep his eye on the new shooter. Even if you have a good dog, you still
just for safety.
Yeah. So another idea. Involve the newcomer is the next one. Plan every opportunity to involve the new hunter. Let them help set decoys. Take the extra minute to explain why you're doing it the way you are.
Why are you moving them? Why'd you move them?
Why'd you put that one there and this one over here? I have no idea. I'm just putting them out.
Yeah.
But I'll guarantee you I'm going to move them 5 more times.
Yep.
Talk about confusion before the poor new hunter.
Yeah. And too, there's some things they just, things we think about, and sometimes you can't help it, but like, okay, the sun's going to come up over here, so let's sit over here so we're not looking right into the sun. We can identify the birds.
Yeah. Oh yeah, those are huge.
It's easier to shoot. The wind's blowing this direction. So typically they should do this, or they have a tendency to come from this direction, so we're going to sit up here. Just little things like that we pretty much do it without thinking about it. But if you're really wanting to mentor them and train them, to be a duck hunter, just stuff that you could tell them that they would never be aware of, but you may do it without thinking about it too. So,
yeah,
I think it's kind of a learning situation for both of you.
Oh, totally, dude. Oh, don't you feel like you're learning every time you go out there?
Try to.
Well, what I mean is when I say learning, I'm saying, oh, the birds reacted that way, and that's a new experience.
Yeah,
and you learn something out of that.
I think it's constantly you're learning, because especially like if you hunt a new place, which way do the birds have a tendency to come from? Different things like that. If it's a pond you never hunted, or different things like that can always. So it is a constant learning.
Yeah, I went, and I know they listen. Was it them? Because that one day I went with Gunner and John and Adam. I was sick, man. I shouldn't even been out there, honestly, and I felt bad because I wasn't too much help. In fact, I was leaving my Rocky's dog stand there, dude, and that's all I took. I took my gun and the dog stand. I didn't even help him nothing. I shouldn't have never went. I literally couldn't barely make it. Remember I told you I was like barely walking? Sick. Oh, I was so weak and sick. And I was leaving this dog stand. The whole Momarsh, $250. I was done. I was like, I can't do it. I literally felt like I couldn't do it. And Gunner was like, are you serious? I'll carry it out for you. I was like, no, I don't. It's not your problem. But he took it out. I was like, you can have it. I was just like, I'm not going to make him carry it back for me and then tell him that I'm keeping it. Well, of course, he ended up just throwing it in the back of his truck. So big shout out to you, Gunner, for doing that for me. Because, yes, I did use it after that. I was glad you did it. But I was not feeling well. I can tell you that. But anyways, when they were setting up decoys, They did everything, and they're like, "Oh, where do you think I should do this? Where do you think?" I was like, "It don't matter. Just throw them out,
see what happens,
and see what happens, and we'll adjust." That's what I said, and I know they were super hesitant. Like Adam was like, "Well, help me out here. Where are you? I don't know." I'm like, "Do what you do when you guys come out here."
Exactly, they kill birds,
dude. You guys kill birds, yeah.
It's a learning experience. So yeah,
I mean, dude, I remember looking on Googling, what would I type in, like
decoy spreads,
spreads,
yeah,
the J, the U, the W, like all these different ones, dude. I tried them all, dude. I ended up moving them. I'm sorry. It's a great idea. It's a great thought, but it don't work half the time like they say in the textbooks. You know what I mean? That's why. So when you're doing it, you gotta go off of what the birds are doing.
Yeah, I mean, like the last hunt that you and I went on, how many times did we move the decoys? Because like, okay, they're doing this. Let's move them.
Which one?
On the veteran hunt.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
And the original one we did seemed to be the best one.
Yeah, the first one we did. But
it was,
kept doing different things.
But we were doing it for the fun of it because it was like,
we wanted to see what would happen.
We were done. I was done.
Yeah.
So it was like, hey, we both were talking like, this is kind of fun, like seeing how they react to different deals. And the original one we had, actually, they did the best too. But yeah. By the way, sorry guys, that vet hunt, some people have been asking about it. I'm gonna put it out probably like in sometime in August, I guess. But it's done and completed, but won't see it till then. Anyways, teaching moments. I like this one right here. I got a good illustration for this one. Teaching moments. Every hunt should be planned with many opportunities to teach and answer questions. I'm not gonna say I plan stuff to make it opportunities, but I'll give you guys an illustration. This is a good argument for hunting on your own, just you and your mentee. If you're giving the new hunter calling or shooting instruction and it flares some birds, no big deal. So I'm trying to, I can remember the day, I can remember the time in fact, we have it on video. Not me telling Nathaniel something, but Nathaniel, I can't remember if this is second season or
I think this is
second. This was his second, huh?
Is it?
Was it or third?
I believe it says third.
Is it? Okay. So
I think so.
So I'm not going to tell you exactly what it was. It was something about how birds are working. But I told him, hey, I think it was about calling or something. I said, when birds do this, do this. And when they do this, do this. It was something you and I know, and it really works. It's not like a hit or miss thing. Mm-hmm. And I'm not lying. It was so awesome. Like talking to a young guy, he's 15 years old, and I tell him this. I'm not lying. 5 minutes later, it happened. Exactly what I said. And I looked over at him, and his eyes just got like this, like bing, like, oh,
the light bulb went off.
Yeah, like, okay, you just said this. I just seen it happen, and boom, he learned that. He'll never probably forget that, even though I just forgot exactly what it was. You know what I'm talking about, though. It was just cool. It was like, that's really fun. Like, it's actually really fun to see someone get something that you're trying to teach them. Yeah. You know, I thought that was pretty cool. I wish I could remember exactly what it was. I think it was something to do with calling. Oh, I know. I talked about just getting quieter on your calling.
It doesn't have to be full
yeah,
volume.
Not full bore, you know?
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's just teaching moments. It's fun. I mean, can I teach someone every single time, like, okay, we do this and the birds are going to come in like this? No, I'm not really referring to that.
Yeah.
But it's just little things like we just said.
Bird identification.
Yes, huge. Yeah. And like, well, how'd you know that was what that was? Remember me asking you? Like, there's no way you can see, because what I was trying to do is see colors.
Yeah.
But you told me, Titus, look at the wing beat.
Yeah.
Look at the wing shape.
Yeah.
Look at the head. Notice the pintail. It's a longer. Because if all you can see is silhouette and it's 300 yards out there on overcast day, there's no way you're going to see any colors and identify like that.
Yeah, size.
But, yeah.
It just comes with the experience,
yeah.
I think.
And trying, though, because I hunted for several years until I really started trying to identify way out there. Because I'm like, it's a duck. I know it's a duck, so I'm going to shoot. And I didn't never really care or think about it. Yeah. But it wasn't until I'm like, I want to know what that thing is out there before it gets here.
Yeah, like you told me this year when that one spot that you guys hunted, you said that, I mean, probably from the parking lot to where the birds are at is probably what, I don't know, half mile, and you could tell they were widgeon.
Oh yeah,
from that far away, just from the flight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, literally, it was just the way. It's just the way their wing beat is, and like how they act. And that's another thing. It's just how they fly. Like they kind of like tumble, and then they go up, and then they tumble. It's hard to explain, but yeah, I was like, those are widgeon. That was an awesome day, man. Oh
yeah, I was working.
Don't you hate us sometimes?
I mean, what can I do?
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
You're happy for us, but you're jealous. You're just like, and you know what's so funny? We're always talking about you and Rather too. We're like, man, I wish Joe was here. I feel bad for him.
Sure,
we do. We do. Oh man. Okay. Oh, here's a good one, Travis. This is you right here. Be a shining example. As a mentor, you're the mentee's first and lasting impression of hunters.
Oh, I don't know if that's probably highly debatable, man.
A shining example. They will judge us all by your actions and attitude. Follow every game law and live it. No, I'm not laughing at this part. Follow every game law and live up to the highest standard of ethics to start the new hunt.
Yeah.
That's serious, okay? I'm laughing at the first part just because we get kind of crazy.
How did you miss?
Yeah. But for reals, though,
quit moving.
And here's the thing. I have had times where I've had to look back in the middle of being in the pond, like, you know what? I don't remember about that. And yet, maybe a new location or a new state, especially traveling. You read all the regs, make sure you know what forward is and backwards. But sometimes you got to go jump on your phone, go to that state or go to, you know, and find out the rules. I'm like, okay, confirm before you do this.
Yeah, you definitely want to know what you're doing before you get out there.
You do not want to do that after the fact.
No.
And like I said, that's what you want to teach them is you know the laws, you got it down packed, and you don't wait till it's too late and then look like a
and I think that's too
idiot.
Sometimes when you know you got young guys that are starting to hunt out on their own, you know what I'm saying? That's why I think bird identification is so huge. You know what I'm saying? Because number one, you don't want to shoot birds and then, you know, obviously take them up there and like, hey, you shot too many of this one. Mm-hmm. But you also don't want to shoot birds and, you know what I'm saying, to avoid getting in trouble, leave them in the field. It's just not good. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you need to know what you're shooting and how many of each one you can shoot.
Yeah, and I mean, if you can't take the shot because you don't know, then better safe than sorry.
Yeah. I think, you know what I'm saying, because some people are like, oh, I shot a duck. What's this? Right?
I know.
And that's not always a good thing.
Well, and the thing is, they'll come up to the check station and be like, so you're proud, right? You did good. You're like, I got a duck.
Snow goose.
Yeah.
No, that's a pelican. Okay?
Yeah.
or
and
swan.
Then you're just hosed, you know, at that point. So you definitely want to know. There's a lot of good, I mean, Google is your friend.
Yeah.
Go on there, North American waterfowl. Look at all those pictures. Then type in each duck, and you can see, I mean, there's just so many pictures. There's really no reason. I mean, not saying I always was perfect with everything.
I think probably the biggest issue would be is early season because the birds aren't plumed out.
Yeah.
You know,
that's tough.
That can be tough, especially for somebody that, if they're new and they're hunting on their own,
so tough
without somebody else there.
Even some guys have been hunting for a couple years, you know, just really got to pay attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, I 100% agree. It's that really makes it tough. All right. I think we got one more. Oh, there's a whole other. Let's end with this one. Ducks on the water. Whether to allow the beginning hunter to shoot his or her first ducks on the water or field is contentious among hunters. No matter how first birds are shot, make sure they can be taken safely. Number 2, the opportunity to retrieve them is certain. And number 3, the harvest is celebrated and recognized with exuberance in any case. Dude, I tell you right now, my goal was I took Vivian, my oldest daughter, she's 12, on her first hunt. We practiced several times with a 20 gauge, junior 20 gauge beforehand. And I told you this, my goal was to land a bird in the decoys.
Yeah.
Because you can definitely do that on a junior hunt. And have her pop it off the water.
Yeah.
I care less if it's flying or not. I mean, and so, yeah, that's exactly what I do. If they're young enough and they're, you know.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with it anyways. Like
that was my nephew this year. He shot, a beautiful shoveler landed right in the decoys.
Oh, really?
And I told him, he's right there. Of course, we're somewhere where, make sure where the shot's going, what's behind there, nobody's in the way. And, he leveled that thing.
Nice.
He was,
stoked, huh?
He was just happy if he shot it out of the air.
Mm-hmm.
And I was happy for him.
Oh, really cool. Dude. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Was that his first one this year?
I don't think so. It was his first shoveler.
Okay.
But I don't think it was his very first bird.
Okay.
So
is he getting that one mounted?
Yeah. It's funny, I was in my garage and I was washing a Drake bufflehead that I'm gonna mount. He's like, Uncle Travis, how much did you charge to do a duck? And I told him, and not thinking about it.
And by the way, Landon's
he's like,
12.
Yeah, he goes, I got one in my freezer. He goes, I'll pay you. And I'm like, I'm gonna charge you to mount your duck.
Uncle Travis, making bank on Landon. Took him 10 years to say that $200. Yeah, that's cool. He really likes it, huh?
Yeah, he really enjoyed it. And it was funny. The other day he was over at the house and I was putting a bird together, and he's like, hey, I want to learn how to do taxidermy. He goes, you can do the skinning and the fleshing, and I'll put them together. I go, no, we're starting this off all wrong.
He's smart.
We're gonna start off at the bottom, buddy.
He knows what he's talking about. That's so funny.
There's a scalpel in the bird.
Get busy, boy. Oh, dude, that's so funny. He didn't take him long to figure out what.
No, I'm gonna start at the easy process first, man. We'll start there and work back.
Yep. I'm still trying to get you to do that for me so I can do the fun part.
There's a certain enjoyment to it. A certain enjoyment, I guess.
Well, the final product's cool. Looking at
well, I think the more you do it, and I'm still not the fastest, but
the
more you do it, you get faster. You know what I'm saying? And
so do you enjoy it more now?
Oh yeah.
Now than you did then?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I have more fun now than I did before.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice watching you when you do because you're smooth. It's like
I'm not smooth.
Me getting back into it.
But you get smoother.
Like,
you get smoother. And that's the thing too. With taxidermy, you guys may not even be interested in taxidermy, but the big thing I could say to somebody that wants to learn taxidermy, and this is totally off the subject, but it's mentorship, right? Is find somebody that's been doing it a while, that knows what they're doing, that's willing to show you the tips and the tricks. Just like duck hunting, it will speed up your learning curve so fast. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So fast. And two, I think that's one of the things. I did duck hunt with some people when I first started, but there was a long period of time when I just duck hunted by myself, and it was all trial and error. And if I would have had somebody train me, it would have been much faster. Mm-hmm. And with calling, there was one of my buddies, Craig DeGraff. We started hunting together, and he helped me out with calling a lot.
Really?
Yeah, just different things. And I'm by no means a professional, but I kill birds. But he was really instrumental in helping me out in calling. And also, I had hunted a lot, just throwing my decoys out there, and he helped me a lot, just setting up decoys and stuff like that, just things to look for. So he helped mentor me. And yeah.
People like that, man.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun.
You've done that for me, and now look at it. It went from you and your Uncle Randy, then to you.
Yeah.
And then your kids and Colton and me and Josh.
But I think
Dad.
I think the learning curve can speed up a lot faster now.
Oh,
just like anything else with YouTube.
Way faster.
YouTube,
mm-hmm.
The internet.
Yep.
Can definitely speed up the learning curve. Mm-hmm. I think, but still, and in a lot of ways, I'm saying it does help to have somebody out there though in the field with you, because you don't always see the ethical side of hunting on YouTube, I would say, because you're seeing the highlights, right? It's not just the stuff when you're not shooting birds or the dog's not retrieving. So I think a mentorship is very important. Somebody that's been there and done that and has good ethics, and some things you can't learn from videos.
Mm-mm. Can't. All right, man. Well, thanks guys for listening, and we'll see you next week.